Hello, I'm Brandi from brandystamps.com, and today we've got a fun fishy adventure card using the Seascape stamp set that's from our annual catalog. We're going to use the fish stamp and some little bubbles, and then we're going to bring in this little seaweed image as well. And when I was looking at this twisting and turning image, it made me think of this greeting from Sunny Sentiments, also in the annual catalog from Stampin' Up! Right now. Look at this, a happy hello, the way the L's fall and the H curls. I chose this stamp set because I felt like it coordinated nicely, and I love how Stampin' Up! Does that. There are so many mix and match options with our stamps. So this card starts with a card base made of our basic white thick cardstock, and it's 5.5 wide, which is what I generally do for a basic card, and it's usually going to be 8.5 and you fold it in half, but this one is just 7.5. And when we grab our bone folder and give it a nice crease, you'll see that we end up having this 1 inch kind of a shortened front of the card. And so that'll lend to our design. I'm going to take this layer of pool party cardstock and do a little bit of embossing on it. I've got our Seashells embossing folder, and I'll just go ahead and take my pool party cardstock. I always like to line it up with the line that's right on the front here. And we just put it in there just like a little alligator bit it. And now we'll run it through the Stampin' Up! Cut and Emboss machine, or like I like to call it, the Big Boss. Okay. All right, let's see how it turned out. Ooh, look at those cool impressions. We get those seashells, and then again, the flowy seaweed image. Now, anytime I'm going to adhere an embossed piece to a flat piece of cardstock, I like to use our mini glue dots to do that. They just give you a little bit of height, and so even if it's in one of the kind of debossed valleys of this image, it'll still stick to the cardstock. So you'll just put one of these in each corner. All right, let's set that aside for a moment. And let's just pull in a little scrap of basic white cardstock, and then I'll grab my fishy stamp. He's all mounted here and ready to go. I've got Mango Melody ink, and we'll just stamp a fish here that we're going to use in a moment. And while I'm at it, I like to stamp my envelopes to match. So this is just one of our Stampin' Up! Basic white envelopes, and I will add a cute little fishy to the corner. While we're doing some fishy stuff, let's pull out our little bubbles. This one goes with the fish nicely, I think. And then I've got my pool party ink pad. And I will come right over here and add some bubbles to the inside of the card, but they'll be visible from the outside. So just something like that, so about in the middle on the edge there. So there's plenty of room still to write inside that card. And then I'll add just a few here. The next thing I wanted to do was get a Mossy Meadow scrap of cardstock and make a circle. I used our Layering Circles dies, which have 16 different sizes of circles here, and some are scalloped and some are regular. So this is about 2 3/8 size on that circle. This is where I'm going to do my greeting. So I've got my happy hello to you. Here's my Mossy Meadow Ink Pad. And when I stamp this, I'm going full strength, and I want to air up to the top of this circle. Get that nice and dark, the tone on tone. And then I'm also going to use our little seaweed pieces, but when I stamp these, I will stamp off, so I want that to be lighter. So we got an inky, we stamped on a scratch paper, and then we'll add them all across the bottom here. And I'm letting them float right up onto the word hello. Next up, let's hop back over to the fishy that we stamped. And I'm going to just cut this out with my paper snips. Don't let this freak you out too much. I don't want to cut right along the stamped edge, just around the outside. And I'm leaving a little white border. However, it doesn't matter if the border gets a little smaller and a little bigger as it goes around. That's very visually forgiving. Some people call this fussy cutting, and some people hate it so much. Don't feel like this is something you can't do. And you can see how it's wider on that fin and narrower on this fin. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too picky, because you'll see when this card goes together, it looks awesome. All right, I want to stick my fish just kind of right below the message here. So I'll grab my Seal Plus, my favorite adhesive. This stuff holds so well. Even just a little bit like that on the fin will hold it very nicely on my card. I'm pulling out some little wiggle eyes. You can get these at any craft store or Walmart or whatever kind of box store you have close by. These are pretty standard. And grab a mini glue dot. Ah, there we go. Now he looks like he has purpose in life. One more detail before I attach this to the card front. Check out this metallic mesh ribbon that is in our annual catalog right now. This has been really fun to give the look of kind of like spider webs and stuff like that on projects. But for this one, it's going to take on kind of a sea netting feeling. And I'm just going to chop off a bit about the width of my card. This is really fun because you can kind of rough up the edges. It's cute with clouds, underwater scenes. This has been really an unusual and fun ribbon to work with. If you don't have this yet, you should get it. And I'm just going to kind of center this. So there's my happy hello, my ribbon coming from the back. Once I like how that looks, I'm going to flip it over and use my Stampin' Dimensionals. Here they are. And I'll just get some so that they overlap from my ribbon to my circle there. So we're holding the ribbon in place with these dimensionals, but of course they'll also do the job of holding it to my card. And while I'm at it, I'm going to add one right here. I like to overlap onto a piece if I've tried to adhere those together. I think that'll hold anyway, but that just gives it a little extra security. Lift these little backs off. And this is going to go kind of low center. Keep your eye on the bubbles and decide how the placement looks. Something like that. A couple final touches for this card just to make it have a little extra pizzazz. This is my Wink of Stella glitter brush. This pen will just add a little sparkle to any project, and it's always cute for under the sea type stuff. And let's see if that shows. I got some fun sparkle here. It shows awesome in person, so I hope you guys can see that. And then the last thing I want to add are the genial gems. This is what they look like when you get them new from the package. You get kind of this little orange tone and more of a green tone, although because of the translucent quality, they'll take on any color of the projects you're working with too. They have gold glitter in them. It's kind of mixed in, and some of the gems have more and some have less. So you get a little bit of a variegation in the colors of the gems you've got. Now I have this package that's almost gone, so of course I want to use the rest of these up. And we'll just get one of the bigger ones there, couple smaller guys up in here. This is kind of adding to my illusion of bubbles all happening underwater. So here's our pretty little envelope and our finished card. Love how this just says happy hello. It's ready to say get well soon, happy birthday, happy anniversary, whatever you might want to write inside of this card. And I hope you enjoyed learning how beneficial it can be to combine stamp sets. And you can see what I did there. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to click like and subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment, say hello. You can always visit brandystamps.com to buy any of the products you've seen. Just click shop, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much.